All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakwadash for the spirit to do this lesson. Double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who do well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord, prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, Barakatham. And I'm going to go in here on this lesson real quick. I'll call this I'll title this, The Lockdowns Are Imminent, and so is Job, the 5th chapter. And the reason why I say this is because, a lot of what I observed, like over the weekend, is just more people in the spirit of mirth, you know, and completely fooled about what's going on in the world, what Esau is up to, and that includes a lot of you Jakes who are ignorant. And what they don't realize is that he's never planned to let things go back to normal. All right. And these things were there to set you up to make you feel more needed, more dependent on him, because that's how he operates. He set up, he'll create a problem and then he'll create a solution for the problem that only he has. He'll make a poison that only he has the antidote to, basically. All right. And that's what this new situation is about to be, because there's all these different types of strands of what going around. That's gonna be infinitely. It's gonna go on forever. It's always gonna be a reason, an excuse to lock down, to take away even more freedom than you have already. You have things going under names like Delta and Lambda, and ultimately, man, this guy is getting ready to make a major move, and I'm gonna play some of this video because, Jake, y'all still don't see it. Y'all still think that, if we just do this, we'll be free, or we just do that, it'll go back to normal. There's nothing that you can do. You're trying to reason with a psychopath, basically. All right. But this is prophecy, because the scripture said that people will fall back asleep. In other words, they be Matthew 24. They'll be marrying and drinking, giving in marriage, and get completely lulled back to sleep in this spirit of mirth. You got hot girl summer going on right now. You got women prouder than ever, despite them not knowing, where the next meal is going to come from. Didn't have a job last year. All of these things, and now they've completely forgotten about that, And it's just vexing, not to rant too much, as I before I play this, but y'all gotta wake the hell up, man. All right, this thing is about to get deadly serious. People's about to start losing jobs. People's about to start missing meals, and eventually it's gonna escalate to people getting put to death. All right, let's play some of this to outline the point that these lockdowns are coming back,
Well, many months ago, before vaccines were widely available and polls showed how much of the U.S. population was vaccine hesitant, I warned on rising. One of the primary drivers of anti-vax sentiment were the public health authorities themselves, who in February and March were constantly vacillating on whether pandemic restrictions could be lifted if you got vaccinated. Till I was blue in the face, I said the primary incentive for getting vaccinated is quote unquote going back to normal. If you still have to wear a mask and stay locked down, what was the point of getting vaccinated in the first place?
You see? Now, he told you, if you just do what I say, you take the everything will go back to normal. But you see how this guy lied? There's no going back to normal. Now you got Delta, Lambda, you about to have Epsilon, and Jake, it's like that old prank where you put a piece of fishing wire on a dollar, outside, and somebody sees the dollar and tries to bend down and pick it up, and somebody behind a tree in the bushes, he yanks it back with a fishing wire, and then they go over again and try to pick the dollar up again. That's you niggas, man. Y'all think that there's light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a dead end. There is no light. He has no intention of letting you go, especially you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He has a special a hatred towards you and a desire to block you out, man, to take over you. And really, the only reason he hasn't destroyed us is because we have something of value from him. He wants to try to siphon something out of us, you know, physically, spiritually, mentally. There are things about us as a peculiar people that, you know, he hasn't been able to destroy us because, you know, one thing, the Most High didn't set it up that way that we would be destroyed by this man, but also he can't live without us, man. We run the economy, you know. We play a major role in the bread and circus. The level of entertainment in America could not be achieved without Jake, man. Jake plays a major role in distracting people. This whole hip hop culture, Instagram, this is all fueled and led by Jake, man. Sports. All right, so we've been invaluable to this man's system to take over the rest of the world, and it's getting to a point where he's about to be in a position where he can just start locking you Jakes back up again. All right, but I digress.
Hall monitor instinct of many of these authorities waned slightly as people got vaccinated and just said, screw it, this thing is over. People started living their lives, going on vacation, going to bars, and more. But now, with the rising number of Delta variant cases, it seems like the whole world has lost their damn mind again. Media hysteria crashed the stock market for a day. White House says Facebook is killing people. Fox News is apparently also killing people, even though black Americans are the least likely of a population to get vaccinated. Los Angeles County.
You heard that? So that's going to be one of the main reasons he's going to roll on you niggas, man. All right? You're going to be the blame of it. And eventually the Israelites, the people who know that they're Israelites, the prophets, the men of the Lord that are preaching, all right, we're going to be the ones blamed. The brother just did a lesson about Esau is going to try to accuse us of a lot of things, but we're going to be found blameless. All right, and that's very beautiful. I need to watch the whole thing on that. All right, it's coming. You're the reason why that the other people are dying. They're literally gonna try to blame us, the lowest people on the totem pole, so to speak.
Counties bringing back indoor mask mandates, even though that's against CDC guidance. The mass panic set by the media is slow rolling us back to more pandemic restrictions at a time when they could not be worse for an actual public health outcome. Take a look at this from the New York Times. The top story yesterday on their website was, quote, as cases rise amongst unvaccinated, U.S. cities wrestle with mask mandates. Within the story, it acknowledges that vaccines protect you from the worst outcomes of COVID and that those who are unvaccinated are the primary ones at risk of death. And yet, again and again, we see the media fight to reimpose mask mandates and pandemic restrictions, effectively lobbying the CDC to reverse their guidance on masks. Worst of all, they have now one of the most cynical actors on their side in this crisis, Dr. Anthony Fauci.
So, in other words, the lockdowns are coming, man. The media is getting ready to push this thing up to the next level. You got to wear a face covering. You got to do this. You got to do that. We need to shut the economy back down again for safety reasons. But we all know that that's bullshit, you know? And the reason I brought up Job 5, I'll get it real quick. And most of this chapter is going to apply because this is getting ready to put us in Jacob's trouble, man. When the second lockdowns occur, a lot of people are not going to make it. I lost my job in the first round. Now the Most High made a way to that I got a new job, but hey, there's a very good chance I'm not going to have this job when this thing shut back down again, man. And a lot of people are not gonna come out of this thing. A lot of brothers could be on the pilgrimage when Esau decides to flip that switch and lock this thing back down again. And then we're going to go into a very dangerous territory for you men that are listening that are on the fence, because the famine of the word is going to be here much sooner than you think, man. All right. They can send out a message to the World Health Organization. They can decide whether or not your channel stays up based on the things that you discuss. They can completely shut us down. Esau already has us marked in these algorithms on YouTube and Google. He knows where everybody is, man. He can read your text messages. He knows everything. All right. So when this guy gets ready to crack down, man, you can literally see us on the pilgrimage in Jacob's trouble. All right. And then what are you gonna do? Those of you that were settled on your leads, as it's written about in Zephaniah. All right. Let me read Job 5 and I'll start at 12. He says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And this enterprise that he's trying to do is basically under this idea of the global reset, the great reset. All right, that's an enterprise that he's trying to do. He's trying to reset everything and put everything under this one body. Why? So he can enslave the righteous. All right, and siphon out all the life of the rest of the world. And ultimately, this has to do with a gigantic ego power trip of him wanting to rule forever, all right, and overrule the Most High. You know, that's ultimately what this whole thing boils down to. It says he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. All right, so all of this is going to be confounded by the Most High, man. See, the truth is already out there. The truth is where it needs to be always. All right, and the Most High, and even if it's not right now, the Most High is going to make sure it gets to where it needs to be. All right, because this is all written. This is all predestined. What's going to happen is going to happen, and there's nothing you devils can do about it. All right, it says they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as the night. Why? Because daytime media, it's right in broad daylight, man. It's on television. All right. They're groping in the noonday. All right. They're feeding you lies. They're plotting against you, basically. You know. It says, but he say with the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. All right. So when they get ready to roll, when your job gets ready to threaten your ability to work, or they try to knock on your door and try to force particular things on you, the Most High is gonna lift up that standard, man. All right, that's what we gotta have faith on, man. And you know, and I'm praying that day comes soon, because I'm tired of working for these people. I'm tired of worrying about, you know, am I doing a good enough job to keep my damn job, you know, to make some other motherfuckers rich. You know, it says so the poor hath hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. All right. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High corrected. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. All right. So, in other words, whatever you got to do, man, you gotta miss a meal, man. You gotta camp up somewhere. All right. You gotta go. You might have to leave a crib barefooted. You know. You might get into dire situations. You might lose your job. But that's a thing that we should be glad in, because ultimately, when the Most High chastises us, or he straightens us, puts us in straits, that's a sign that the Most High loves us. The scriptures say he chastens those that he loves. All right, as would any father do with their child. If you love your child, man, you're gonna discipline them. So when these things come upon us, man, that's a sign that we just need to endure. All right, that we're on the right path, that the Most High sees us worthy enough to chastise, so we can grow, you know. All right, it says, for he maketh sore and bindeth up, he woundeth and his hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Now, when we read the book of Revelation, it talks about the 6 trumpets. All right. And we're basically in the 6th trumpet now. All right. And the scriptures say he's going to deliver us in 6 troubles. So in that 6th trumpet, man, this is the time that we're going to get delivered out of here, man. Because if you're still here when that 7th trumpet hit, man, that's thermonuclear destruction. All right. That's why it says, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. And this is only for the elect, the men who are sincere in this thing, all right? Not you halfway Israelites, you remixers of the doctrine, you wayward niggas, you niggas that are in this thing for clout, for views, to feel good about yourself, or wherever the fuck you're doing this, man. All hell's getting ready to break loose, and every sign in the world is pointing to that we're in those times where this is getting ready to happen, man. How many news articles have to come out? How many events have to occur? All right, it says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. In other words, people are going to start dying out here, man. People are going to be missing meals, and you know how niggas get when they don't know where their next meal is coming from. Edomites too, man. Your next door neighbor, he's going to be a liability. All right? If your next door neighbor has a gun and you don't, that's going to be a liability to you in that day for all you jakes that are bullshitting. Let you have some food in your crib and he don't in that day. What do you think is going to happen? All right? It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. It says, and at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. All right? So we're not going to have to worry about that. Y'all niggas going to have to worry about that. All you niggas that are bullshitting. All right? When these lockdowns occur again, that's going to be the beginning of the end of this thing. All right? And really, that already started last year because he just warmed y'all up into it, you know? So now this time, a lot of you are just going to go with it very stupidly. All right?
Who had this to say about bringing back mask mandates.
Health officials in places like Los Angeles County, which is, you know, one of the first that came out and said, regardless of what broader recommendations are, we feel the better part of valor is that we have so much infection going on with this Delta variant that it's prudent even for those people who have been vaccinated to wear masks. And I think we're seeing and will see more and more of that because we...
You heard that? So even if you did what they said, which is take the you-know-what, you're still going to have to bow down to the image. You see? Let me get that real quick. You're still going to have to bow down to the image. You have to do what we say, boy. Let's see here. This is Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. And this devil is on TV right now speaking, trying to get you to worship the almighty government of America, Esau's rulership. He wants you to go to him for all things, which you already do. But he wants you to be a brainless, mindless slave, to not question anything. He's going to continue to program you with this media, dumb you down with the foods and folly on the internet. All right. It says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So that's what this is going to lead to. They're using rhetoric now. You're killing people. They're saying people, they're accusing Facebook right now of killing people. Now, if they can accuse Facebook of killing people for not allowing certain narratives or not speaking the right thing to certain people or not using certain words, what do you think they're going to do to you niggas? All right. And y'all don't think this is a time of trouble? Y'all think this is a time to bullshit? Y'all are sadly mistaken, man.
Certainly are seeing a surge in cases with the Delta variant, which is now dominating in this country 83%, and in some places in the country it's as high as 90%.
It may sound reasonable, but it is not at all. Effectively, what Fauci is saying is this: it's understandable for local authorities who are seeing high levels of community spread in low vaccinated areas to bring back mask mandates. This actually makes zero sense because it reinforces the canard that many unvaccinated point to, that they truly do not believe pandemic restrictions will ever be lifted, whether they get vaccinated or not.
Right. He hit it right there, you know, and I'll basically end it on that. I don't want to make this too long, but that's basically it, man. It's never going to end. People know this. People are catching on to it. So this guy's getting ready to do something drastic. You know, we don't know exactly what it is, but we know he's getting ready to do something. Why? Because you stupid ass people out there bought everything he said the first time. You went right along with it. You know, humming along. I just want to get back to normal. Whatever he says, I'm a you know, you're in that spirit of apathy, all right? Then you scorn and scoffed at us for being against this thing. Well, we're about to see where that lands you, all right? Because Job 5 is talking about the men of the Lord who are faithful. We're going to be the ones that's going to eat. We're going to be the ones that's going to laugh at famine, all right? Not be shook by it. The standard's going to be lifted up for us, not you niggas. We're going to have the stability through wisdom, not you. And all of you proud ass women are going to fucking die, all right? And the ones that you don't, you're going to have to do some mighty acts of service for the true men of the Lord if you want to be kept and protected in that day, all right? So with that, I'm going to end it on that. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Shalom wa abba babal.